Good afternoon, friends. This is Lee Kersey, the Central Georgia. Got my Missouri Meerschaum Cobbett Shire. The first pipe I ever bought from the Milltown Pipe Show. And in it today I've got some Country Squire Parsons blend. One day I'll get this thing together where I can keep my pipe lit while I'm doing a video. I want to do a VR to Pipe Philosophy. He is doing a drawing and I believe he asked the question, how has the YTPC helped your situation or helped you with your life or something to that effect. To start with, it has connected me with somewhat like-minded individuals, maybe not politically wise or job wise or whatever, but with the pipe and cigars, it's helped me connect to individuals that are in the same mindset as far as pipe smoking and cigar smoking. Even though there's a local brick and mortar here in Savannah, Georgia, they have 2 stores. They've been here for 52 years. They opened up, from what I understand, a year after I was born, so I just turned 53. And they sell a good bit of pipe tobacco. They have, as I've mentioned before, they have a whole wall of pipe tobacco there. They mix their own. They and I've seen people in there buying pipe tobacco, but it's not like you see at a normal pipe and cigar shop. And when I say a normal pipe and cigar shop, I'm talking something like McCraney's, Boswell's, places like that. They probably have more people at the downtown store than they do at the south side store. But I've been, as I mentioned in the video earlier today, I've been to several places: Gatlin Burlier, Boswell's, Briarworks, Edwards, Cigar and Tobacco, The Outlaw, Ash and Ember. And speaking of Ash and Ember, I want to correct something I talked about earlier. I mentioned that was in Olathe, Kansas. No, it's not in Olathe, Kansas. It's in Salem Springs, Arkansas. And I had that one and another store there in Olathe, Kansas mixed up. So I made that mistake, and I wanted to correct that. Ash and Ember is in Salem Springs, Arkansas. You have the Fireside, and I'd have to actually go back and look at my list to see what 2 stores is there in Olathe, Kansas. I'm gonna have to set this pipe down until I finish my video, because it's hard to keep it lit and hold the camera and do everything. But anyway, the YouTube pipe community has connected me with people that I probably would not have met otherwise. Some I have met in person, like Wilson of the Spurgeon Piper, the Scott and I can't think of his name, his buddy, on what used to be Idiots with Pipes, now it's Idiots with Class. I met them at the Milltown Pipe Show. I have not met Jim Stiffy of Emerson Southern Forge and Pipe Tobacco Talk podcast, but I have met his buddy Tim Beaumont, and that's how I got connected with Jim Stiffy, the blender. And through that and others in the pipe community, I've been able to meet some other blenders, Tanis Pritchett, Pritchett Select Smokes. I did not get to meet Appalachian Customs, but I do know of him. I know of Southern Roots Briars. I know of Cloudberry Customs. I've met others through Facebook groups and stuff like that. Not physically met them, but know of them, like Cloudberry, Who Dat Pipe Works, people like that. Of course, I've met Boswell's, all of the people there at Boswell's, and Mr. Todd Brugman, the pipe maker there at LJ Peretti. I've met him, talked to him. I actually met Mr. Peretti, although he did not want me to get a picture made with him. Todd said he does not take too many pictures, but I have met him. I do have a picture of Mr. Boswell's. I got to meet Dr. Alan Harrelson, and think a lot of him. Got to meet Dwayne Noel of Dry Creek Wrangler School, even though I didn't actually get to physically talk to him. I realized after I left the Milltown Pipe Show in 23, that's who that was. And I followed him on YouTube a lot, Dry Creek Wrangler School. And both of them guys are great. I got to meet Mutton Chop Piper. I got to meet Flat Cap, Lady Fire, awesome people. I'm glad I got to meet her, got to know them prior to her passing away. I got to meet Beans 316, got to meet the Palm Tree Piper, got to meet Greg Tunnel Tate. Who else have I met? A lot of them I know on Instagram. Neil of InPod, got to meet a lot of the artisan pipe makers that you see people talk about and hear about on YouTube. And of course, all of the YouTube people that I haven't got to meet, like Porch Piper Tom, Mr. Ed of ArmchairPiper, one of my subscribers, Scott Aranda, I got to meet him at a show. He's not a YouTube presenter, but he watches a lot of YouTube. He's a good friend of mine. I got to meet Pipe Man 1861, spent some time with him, and shucks, man, I'm trying to think. One of the guys that really meant a lot to me, I'm really into a lot of history and things like that, and I guess that's how me and Dr. Alan Harrelson really clicks together, is because of the history, him being a history professor. And I got to meet thedreadtyger, Mr. Richard of the Gatlin-Burlier. I've spent a lot of time with him when I have met him. Jeremy Reeves, Per George Jensen, and I'm gonna have to show the pipe I got from him. I picked up one of his pipes. Who else? People like Delta Kilo, Rudy Van Krusen, I think that's how you say his name. AKJ Piper. I'm trying to name off some of these people, and I'll have to go back through and watch the video and get the list together. As of right now, I have 104 subscribers, if I'm not mistaken, 105 subscribers. I have not got to meet Miss Carolina Rose, but awesome lady, Carrie, John of John's Pipe Journey. I did get to meet him there at Muletown this past year. Great guy. And I'm hoping I can meet some of these other people. I've seen some of them at the pipe shows, but did not get to walk around with them. But what I was going to say is one of the guys that has really been instrumental to me, and it's not necessarily in the pipe community, but I met him through the pipe community, is Mr. Larry Blackett of Buttons for Your Britches. I was at Chicago last year and had a little situation happen. And I had known Mr. Larry and Miss Rose for some time. And, seeing them at the pipe shows. And talked to them real friendly. And I had a situation in Chicago last year where they helped me out. And then during the process, he was telling me he was looking for a vehicle. And if you know Mr. Larry, y'all know he lives up north. He was having a time trying to find a vehicle that wasn't rusted out, wasn't all messed up or whatever. So fortunately for me, knowing dealerships and stuff like I do down here in the South, I found a vehicle for him. Had some time during one of my loads when I was driving trucks, and I drove the vehicle up there to him, and we settled on everything. He was happy, I was happy. Got to spend some time with him and Miss Rose. Awesome people, and I can't begin to tell you the enjoyment that I had at spending the time with him, looking at the history there at his house, because he was into reenactments and things of that nature, and that's what got him involved with making the pewter buttons and different things for the reenactments. And he just turned that from the buttons into the tampers. If you know the story, that's how he got into making tampers. And I had some free time, and I was able to spend with him and Miss Rose an awesome time. Couldn't have asked for a better time with them folks. And that's something that I will cherish for the rest of my life, because you don't get, I'm the type of person, I don't like to just go up and stay with people. That's not the way I am. But they just made it so comfortable, so enjoyable. And then when I got in there, he was showing me how he made his tampers. He was showing me, stuff that he had collected over the years. The history and the research from his family that, it really got to me, because I've got a lot of paperwork about the history of my family, but Mr. Larry had a whole room dedicated to a library about the history of his family, the people behind his family. It was mind-boggling, the history and the knowledge that he had there at his house. And I told him, I said, man, I could sit here for months just going through these history books, and I'd have to get up and go to the store, order a pizza or something. I could just sit here for months and just study this stuff. It was unreal, got to meet, who else was it? I can't think of Captain Kirk. I've talked to him a few times. Got to meet, if you're on Spotify, Jay Furman and Bo. Talk to them. Pipe and Tamper podcast. You got Carolina Kirk. You got who else? Not Carolina Kirk, Captain Kirk. I've met, Carolina Kirk through YouTube. But all of these people that I've met through the YouTube community that I never would have otherwise. You got Justin and I can't think of his name. They do, I think it's Pipes, Pals, and Pours, or Pipes, Pours, and Pals, something like that, podcast. I was there at Muletown last year. I missed out on the Fireside Flake, I think it was, that Cornell and Deal brought out. And I was talking to Justin, and I mentioned it because I was there. That's one of the things I was looking for there at Muletown. He said, well, hold on. He said, how long you going to be here? I said, I'll be here for a while. He said, well, come back over here after, the show closes today, and we'll walk out to my truck, and I'll let you get a little bit. So I walked out there, and I got enough for a bowl of the Fireside Flake, so I could taste it. I've met some wonderful pipe makers, some pipe resellers like Miss Sally of the Pipe Tart. She gave me a bowl of the Frogmorton Cellar at one of the shows one year. And Miss Lynn Shanahan of the Valiant Lady, she sells some pipes from people overseas. I got my Ramo Ryberg pipe from her. I was going to order it from Ramo himself, but she had the pipe that I wanted, and I wasn't able to get it from him at the time due to financial stuff. And I was, for somehow or another, it just wound up sitting there, and I wound up being able to get it from her. And then you have people like Jonathan over, in the UK, Piper X1X. You've got Truck and Piper Bob, people like that. You've got Jesse. All of these people that you normally wouldn't connect with. And even though I have not physically been able to sit down on the porch or at a pipe show or at a lounge or whatever and chat with them, I feel like I connect with them in the YouTube pipe community because, we all talk about the pipes and cigars and whatnot. And like I said, a lot of them I have met at the pipe shows and stuff. And it just makes a big difference when you have people that you can talk to and meet around the country. I used to didn't really be an outgoing person. I always hung to myself, and I'm still not that great of an outgoing person. I've had some people think that, I am, but technically I'm not. I've always been more of a sit on the side of the wall, watch things go on around me. I wasn't one to actually get involved with stuff. And it's with dealing with the trucking industry and the automotive detailing industry and things like that I've had to deal with over the years, and now with the pipe community, it's got me, I'm not going to say more outgoing, but I've made a bunch of contacts and acquaintances in the pipe community that otherwise I would not have made, and I've enjoyed every one of them. And the time that I get to spend with these people, people like Mr. Terry Carpenter and his wife, Treese, and then you've got couple other people that I can't think. I've got a whole list of names of people. I was going to try to keep up with everybody. You got the Chinese artists that I met in Chicago. You got the German Dirk Heinemann. People like Luigi Paprati. Heck, I can't think of all of them. Then you got your pipe makers like Jay Mouton, awesome pipe maker. You got Mr. Chris of Edwin Pipes. If you have not seen any of his pipes, look him up on Instagram or Facebook. It's Edwin Pipes, EDWIN Pipes, and his pipes are just, it'll blow your mind. He makes his pipes with a stand and everything, and it will blow your mind, the designs he comes up with. And then you've got people like Brett and well, sir, I can't think of her name right now. Of Missouri Meerschaum. I know her name, but I can't think. It just rolled out of my head the time I started to say it. But you got those people. They're awesome people. You got Sarah and I think it's Mike Ingram of MDSD Pipes. Awesome people. And you got people like well, sir, his name just rolled off the top of my head. Steve of Vermont Freehands. And a lot of you wonder where you get parts for your pipes and stuff like that. Steve has I'm going to say probably the best selection of briar, stem material, parts that you need to make pipes, drills, bits, buffing wheels, all the stuff you need to make pipes. He has probably the top-notch selection that I've ever seen of that. And you couldn't ask for a better selection. And he does this out of his home, and I've, been fortunate enough to spend time with him and sit there and talk to him and this and that and the other, because we was off in a secluded room there in Chicago prior to the Chicago Pipe Show. I was able to spend some time with him and just sitting there listening to them play the guitars and music that they was playing and stuff. It's just real calming to be around these people at these pipe shows. And I never would have been able to do that if I hadn't got in with the YouTube pipe community or the pipe community period. So I hope that answers your question there, pipe philosophy. And it has opened, and of course making these videos has sort of kind of helped me come out of, I wasn't necessarily in a shell, I was just one of these type of people that I wasn't comfortable. And being in the YouTube pipe community has helped me get out of some of that. And I'm still probably not the best. And I'm probably not going to be the comedian that y'all see in others. But yeah, it has really helped me, meet people and learn about different things, and putting people down on my list that I want to meet at the different pipe shows. And then when I do go to pipe shows, it's like, hey, I hadn't seen you since this one, I hadn't seen you since that. And you make these memories with these people. And yeah, And yeah, I don't know you in your personal everyday life, but the ones of you that I follow and really deep dive into your videos, whatever, that it's like there's a connection there with you. And even though I'm not in your everyday life and see what's going on, there's a connection that, I can understand. And hearing some of your life experiences, seeing some of your collections, and I mean, that's just like with the esoterica thing. When I first got into the pipe community, I was like, where am I going to find all of these tobaccos that are almost impossible to find? And now that I've been in it, the 3 years, I've got such a variety of tobacco now that otherwise I wouldn't have because of the pipe community. Yeah, I don't have tens of hundreds of pounds of stuff, one thing, but I'm interested in the pipe blending. I'm interested in things like that. I do have a few blocks that I bought from Steve to maybe kind of mess around with on pipe making. I don't know that I'll ever get that far, but I have it. I mean, if nothing else, I can set it up on my shelf. That's where the pipe starts out, and then you got to do this and that. I know the steps. And so, yeah, these pipe shows and the YouTube pipe community has really been an interesting part of my life that I follow a lot of your journeys. I watch y'all, in your up and down days, just like y'all watch me. I pray for y'all just like y'all pray for me. I think about y'all. Yeah, I consider y'all my friends, and normally because of me being in the truck so long, now that I'm back home, I try not to leave no more than I absolutely have to from my home. And if I don't see y'all at a pipe show or sit there and watch y'all's videos, I'm sure I could probably find something else to do because my mind is constantly looking for something to do. I've constantly got to learn, but being in the YouTube pipe community, I find out about things that normally I wouldn't find out about. Just like earlier, Beans was talking about the Carolina Red Flake coming back out in September. So that one's coming back up. You got the We Three Kings coming up this coming Tuesday. Things of that nature, and then even though Sutliff is gone, I got to meet Jeremy McKenna and a lot of those people that worked under him at the pipe shows and got to be, pretty decent friends with him. And per George Jensen, me and him chit-chat back and forth on Instagram every now and then, which with him living overseas, you got the time differences. So, but we still, send messages to each other, talk to each other a little bit. And then with the pipe blenders, I've gotten in these groups on Instagram where I get in these box passes that I get tobacco that I probably will never find. Just like that one I got the other day from Cornell and Deal, that vintage blend that I got from '05. I'll never find that anywhere unless maybe, I say I won't. But yeah, I get to meet people like Mr. Alvin Miller. Every show that I go to, he is right there from the get-go, and he stays all the way to the end, and we spend time talking. Because normally when I go to a show, I'll find me a table or somewhere where I can sit and The only time I normally get up is if I go to use the restroom, get something to eat, or when I'm actually walking through the show. Other than that, I'm always sitting in that one place. And I sit there with people like Mr. Alvin Miller, Mr. Terry Carpenter, Miss Therese, Mr. Mark, people like John of John's Pipe Journey, and just sit there and chit chat and have a good conversation. Then I meet with people like Pipe Man 1861, and we spend time together and hang out, after the show, and get to know each other and talk and this and that and the other. And then I got people like Scott that I hung with the whole time, and then get to meet great people like I said, Flat Cap Lady Fire. So yeah, that's what the pipe community has meant to me, and I hope that answers your question, Pipe Philosophy. And I've done sit here and rambled 31 minutes, so I'm gonna get off of here and hope y'all have a good week, and may the Lord bless you. And I'm gonna get back to my pipe and finish it, and see if we can't get to bed at a decent time tonight and go from there. So y'all have a good day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing.